4:36 p.m. on a hot Father's Day afternoon. It's about to be 4:37. There we go. So, today we are going to be giving off a full review of my new Midland NOAA weather radio WR-120DSP all hazards weather radio. I bought this to be very funny. I also bought this so I could film EAS alerts like a lot of you other EAS fans out there, so I thought I'd amp up the channel a little bit with those. So, right here it is. I love this thing already. I do have an old one, actually. I'll go ahead and bring it out here. It's not plugged in, but here's my old one. It looks pretty much the same thing, except this one is the WR-120EZ, if you could see that. The reason I am replacing this one is because I dropped it while moving it, and since then it has not worked that well, and there's been a lot of static coming out of it. And I was like, you know what, it's 4 years old, so might as well toss it. So, we're not going to toss it yet, though. We'll see what happens if I move it somewhere else or up to the vacation house. But anyways, that aside, let's review this. So right here, this is what it looks like. We have Midland on the top, the main screen right there in the middle showing the date and time. This is what it looks like when the weather radio is off permanently. So we have just the time, the warning, watch, and advisory lights, the menu, select, arrow keys, and volume up and down button, and the weather snooze button. So this is like, this button, what this button does is when the radio is on, it turns on and off the radio. Alright, so let's go ahead and show you how this works. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on. So I'm going to show you this little side switch here. See this switch right here? If that switch is in the off position, you will not receive alerts. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and hold the camera if it'll focus, and I'm going to turn it on. There we go. So now we have it on, but still there's no radio. So how to fix that? We just hit this button that says weather snooze, and we have it turned on. There we go. To adjust the volume, they've been having some technical difficulties today. I don't know why, but we'll tune it into another channel if it's messed up. Yeah, it is messed up. Trust me, it's not the it's not the weather itself, it's just the channel. There we go. We'll set it to that one for now, although it's not my station. That's like the backup. The one we use is 162.550 here. That's local, but they've been having technical difficulties all day long, so not surprised. So anyways, the weather radio is on. You can adjust the volume by doing this.
Temperature was 104 degrees, dew point 21, and the relative humidity 5%, producing a heat index of 96.
There we go. That's as loud as it goes. Not going to leave it that high.
29.96 inches and steady.
That's where I leave it, but we'll turn it up a little bit. So that's how to turn the volume up and down. These buttons give you the most recent alert if you have an alert, but we live in California, so there's not really that many alerts, except the required weekly test, and if we get flash floods or on occasion. So none of the buttons really do anything when you're just listening to the radio, except the menu button.
103.
Notice the menu button doesn't do anything. That's because I have the weather radio on. To get to the menu, I just have to turn the radio off. So when you first get the radio, you'll set it up. You can set the time, set an alarm, which is a cool feature. This is just if you have this like as a bedroom clock and you want to just set an alarm like any other alarm clock. You could set the language, which I did already. I have the location set to any right now, but I'll change that later, just off camera, because I'm obviously not going to share my location. The alert type is cool because you can change it to whether you just want the voice, the display, or the tone. So if you'll just hear the alarm tone when it's in tone. The voice actually plays the voice along as well when they issue an alert. And the display just shows it on here and lights up one of these warning lights. So we'll keep it on voice, because that's what I prefer. The volume you can change of the alert. This is only available on the DSP model, 120 DSP. So we'll go ahead and do that. You can do low, medium, or high, but we'll keep it on low, because high is insane. Alert test, you could do an alert test with that. Or you could set the channel, which let's see if the reception's working. Nope. See, we use 162.550, that's where we are. But, like, this one, for example, never gets signal. This one's like the one further from us, but it still gives signal. This one doesn't work. 450 barely works. So yeah, kind of weird that it's been doing this on 550 lately, so we'll leave it on this one for now. And we'll turn the radio back off. And the backlight, which I think is a good feature, so if you want to use this as a clock, you can put it to backlight on, and that'll just keep it on the whole time. Or you could just have it off completely, or auto, which is normal, they call it here. This part is really cool. This is the last option. You could set events. So, for example, you could keep all the events on. You can edit the events. So, for example, I'll go into here. You can see every single alert. Avalanche, blue alert, boil water warning, blizzard warning, child abduction, coastal flood watch, coastal flood warning, dam watch, practice, demonstration. You can also do, whoops, sorry about that, camera. Dust storm warning, flash flood watch, flash flood warning, flash flood advisory, flood watch, flash, all these cool alerts. So we'll quickly scroll through these. Fire warning, flash freeze. So yeah, very cool. Hurricane warnings, everything. High wind, iceberg, national audible test. So all of these alerts are very cool. Power outage, that's a good one. Required monthly, required weekly test. Special marine warning. I've actually gotten one of those on video just recently. We had a California thunderstorm out of nowhere. It was crazy. Snow squall, I've actually experienced that before. Severe thunderstorm warning, which we probably will never get here, but yeah, 911 telephone, tornado watch, tropical storm. We had a tropical storm a couple of years ago, but I didn't have the radio yet. And that's my air conditioning turning on, sorry about that. Transmitter, let's see, wildfire, winter storm warning. I've definitely encountered those in the mountains. And unrecognized warning. So all those, now back to that. So that's the last option, then you're back up at the time. Oh, so we'll go ahead and back and do all on, because I like to hear the alerts. And there we go. So that's the Midland radio. So
Night and morning low clouds and fog
yep,
can be expected
very
to stay
good
along the
radio.
coast, reaching into portions of the valleys for the middle to end of the week.
And that's the National Weather Service. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out why they're experiencing so many technical difficulties with our station. But if you hear static and you know it's on your station, then that means they're probably just experiencing technical problems. It's not the first time it's happened, but I was unable to capture the required weekly test last week because of that. So yeah, there was just static, just didn't work. Even on all the other channels, like they were doing temporary updates. So you'll definitely experience that if you own one of these radios. You'll encounter those problems with the stations. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this full review of the Midland WR-120DSP, and thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see you all in my next, hopefully, alert video to capture, if I can get one. So anyways, that's it.